America's big cities have turned into shitholes. That's no big surprise, but Theo Vaughn has some convincing commentary on it. Let's take a look. All right, folks. Our big cities across America, they should be shining examples of American progress, but unfortunately, they have fallen into the cesspool of progressivism. I want you guys to get down in the comments and tell me what you think about this. Theo Vaughn had a guest on his podcast, and they were talking about this very thing. This is ex-Boston detective Kara Connolly on why Democrat cities are, quite honestly, shitholes. Play the clip.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why Mass and Cass, you've heard of the part of Boston. I don't know if you've heard of the part of Boston called Mass and Cass. It is a disaster down there. There's drug addicts everywhere. They're all over the streets, destroying property. There's needles all over the city in South End and that area. It's kind of, it was focused there, and now they've tried to kind of break it up the last few years because it was insane. And now they've pushed it out. Yeah, there was 10 cities down there. Look at this shit.
Yeah, and look, and some people say this is just a bill.
They have safe shoot-up zones there. They're letting them shoot up heroin in safe places.
Oh, yeah.
So now the needles are all over the South End, and the poor people in the South End, they pay a lot of money to live there. There's a beautiful brownstones, and now there's people shitting in their front yards, throwing needles everywhere, breaking. Say a guy was breaking into a house while people was under construction, the second floor. This was just a few weeks ago. And there's a guy's family's there with his kids, and they had like an old key or something, and they were breaking in and going to like shit in the floor on the second floor that was under construction. And he went up and there's like a pile of human shit in his house. He's like, what is going on? They put up cameras. The guy was going in and out every night to like sleep on the floor in his house under construction and then shit on the floor.
It's like the emoji or whatever.
Yeah, like what is wrong with you?
What?
So that part of the city, I feel bad for people who live down there.
Oh,
that's Atkinson Street.
Yeah. Where is it?
It's Atkinson Street. It's near the jail.
Yeah. Well, and look, and a lot of people say this is just a Bill's tailgate or something over here. I'm not saying that. Some people say this is a Pinto tailgate. I'm not saying that. What we're saying is that this is a lot of drug use that's happening over there in this town in Boston.
Yeah.
But here's another thing, though. They have this everywhere now.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Every city has this.
Every democratically run city, I think. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Right.
Well, we don't have one here. I know that. I hope not anyway. I don't know.
Austin got ruined. Austin was a blast. And I took my daughter there several years. I'd been there 10 years ago. And I was like, this is the coolest place. Reminds me of here a little bit, like 6th Street where all the bars used to be. Yeah. And then I went back a few years later because my daughter's way into music. I wanted to take her. And she was afraid to get out of the car. There were homeless people sleeping in hammocks strung from street signs in the street, and it was just rampant. Before if you were homeless, you got arrested there, which isn't the best thing, but you got to do something. They're like throwing bricks through all the windows that have been there a long time. Austin got ruined. And Seattle's a shithole. Portland.
Yeah, Portland is. I'll have to sneeze, but. Portland is a shithole, but also it's awesome. I will say this.
Yeah, I was up there when I do landscape photography as a hobby, or used to, and I went up to Oregon and Washington, and I love it's the coolest place. Like Portland's it's such a cool vibe, you know. And
but I do think that element that's out there. It's like, why are we? It's like.
I don't know their end game. Like, what is the point of ruining all these cities?
I think they want it to just, they want us to deteriorate. They want us to have no sense of purpose, right? They want us to not have any pride in the places where we are because they've been so riddled. They get people addicted, the opioid epidemic was put on America and was allowed to occur, right? They want
it wasn't like that when I was young.
No, they want this to happen. Yeah. It's no doubt to me that this is an organized agenda.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But I believe that people can fight back, and I believe that...
I think it started a little bit.
I think so, and I hope so. And also, it gives you a sense of purpose in the world. It's like, you're here to defeat evil, And we all can be a part of that, and I think it's something that makes us feel that way.
Yeah.
People want to feel proud about their home. I mean, what Theo is saying is amazingly accurate. They wanted to do this. I mean, look at the big cities across the country. Theo lives in Nashville. He used to live in Austin. He was in California. He keeps moving across the country trying to find a better place, I guess. But you look at big cities like Detroit, heartbeat of industry, right? Motown, gone. San Francisco, beautiful city. It's a symbol of freedom and innovation, gone. This is, you look at these images and where you have turned a transient lifestyle into a choice. You look at Chicago, beautiful city, beautiful architecture. Trash. New York was a fun city that never sleeps, the Big Apple. You know, now it's not just a city that never sleeps, it's the city that never cleans up its trash or ever punishes crime and never admits any failure. Look at this. This could be your city. So you have to ask yourself, why are America's cities becoming these progressive cesspools? It's not bad luck. It's not systemic racism. It's not global warming. It is progressive policy. What she said is exactly right. It's Democrat-run cities, which are pretty much all big cities in America. And that rot didn't happen overnight. I mean, it kind of crept in like mold through the cracks of, you know, the moral decay, the bureaucratic arrogance of we're just going to do it our way. And that's the deal, because progressivism always is going to sell itself as compassion. That's why you have these shoot-up zones for drug users. But here's the deal. They also, while selling themselves on fake compassion, they cash out on the chaos. And you can call it social justice, but what it is social rot. You can call it equity, but what it is envy institutionalized. They call it housing reform. It's really legalized squatting, where people are taking a crap in your home while it's being built. You can call it criminal justice reform, and what it is open season on law-abiding citizens. And you have these progressive mayors out there, these city councils that are treating criminals like victims and treating victims like collateral damage. They want to defund the police and then wonder why the streets belong to the gangs and the criminals, and legalize drugs, then act shocked when the parks look like open-air shooting galleries. They want to decriminalize theft and wonder why small businesses get out of there faster than the residents. I mean, you look at San Francisco, a crown jewel of American freedom, gorgeous town. Now it's a human landfill. You can literally get high on the sidewalk, steal from the Walgreens, take a dump on the street, and camp outside the mayor's office while they hand you free needles and call it compassion. So the city by the bay has become the city of decay. How about that? You got, again, Chicago. I want deep dish pizza right now. But they got decades of Democrat rule. Every new mayor is going to promise reform while the murder rate keeps climbing like it's a corporate bonus plan. And the real crime in Chicago isn't what's happening in the streets and the alleys. It's what's happening in City Hall. You know, the bureaucrats lining their pockets and the teachers' unions protecting failure, and the kids are growing up thinking bullets are just part of the background noise. And then, again, New York, you know, the Empire City reduced to a dirty playground for criminals and activists who hate capitalism but love the tax money it produces. Just wait till Zoran Mamdani, the socialist, gets a hold of it. You got a subway system that's a rolling freak show, and Times Square feels more like a scene out of a zombie film than the heart of the free world. See, progressives turn cities into laboratories of failure every time. They tax the middle class into extinction, drive out business, regulate everything, and subsidize dysfunction. And then, when it all collapses, they say, well, we just didn't go far enough. The experiment failed. That's the progressive motto. When your bad idea fails, you double down. You try harder. You want to know what's really behind it? Power. Because the worse a city gets, the more dependent its citizens become. The more chaos, the more control. The more homelessness, the more government programs. The more crime, the more bureaucracy. It's a cycle of dependency that keeps them in office and keeps you under their thumb, and it keeps those federal funds rolling in. And then the culture that they've built with lawlessness, where it's celebrated in liberation, being, you know, this cashless bail, whatever, they call that liberation. You got perverts out there that are being called brave, and they throw parades for them. You got lazy people being called victims and oppressed, achievement being called privilege, traditional values, whether it's faith, family, and order or whatever, law, treated like hate crimes, and they replace God with government and then wonder why the soul of the city dies. See, the truth is progressivism can't sustain a civilization because it doesn't build anything. It dismantles everything. It doesn't clean. It redistributes the filth. It just spreads it out. And it doesn't promote virtue. It glorifies vice. And the only thing it knows how to grow is bureaucracy, dependency, and excuses. And if you doubt that, walk through any major blue-run city at night. I dare you. Step over the needles, dodge the doo-doo, the tent camps, and watch the politicians post selfies while their citizens suffer. They're going to preach the tolerance while their streets rot, and the virtue signaling while their children can't read. They're going to talk about climate change while their cities drown in human waste. The only way out is to tell the truth. So I'm glad Theo did that. I'm glad he brought that up. This is a good conversation to have because I think people are waking up to it. America's cities, they're not failing because of inequality. That's dumb. They're failing because of ideology. When you remove morality from governance and accountability from leadership and God from culture, you don't get progress, you get collapse. And we don't need more government programs. We need courage and people that are willing to stand up and tell the truth, law and order, peace from order out of the chaos, citizens that are strong enough to say enough's enough. And we need parents to take back the schools and the business owners to take back the streets and the pastors to take back the pulpits. I give you the solution. Because if progressives keep running the cities, they're going to keep running them into the ground. And when the cities fall, the rest of the nation isn't far behind. That's the experiment that's being run. The data's in, and the conclusion is absolutely clear. Progressive policies don't just ruin cities, they ruin people's souls. And that's not politics, it's observable reality. So maybe the question isn't why are America's cities becoming shitholes? Maybe the real question is how long will we keep pretending like it's somebody else's fault and doubling down? Leave me a 5-star rating over where podcasts are offered for the Chad Prather Show. Hit subscribe on Rumble or YouTube if you've not done so already, and also hit that notification button so you'll know when we post a new video. Go back and rewatch this a few times because you didn't hear it, but I gave you some real solutions there. Thanks, Theo, for saying what we need to say and using your platform to do it. Join me for the Chad Prather Show Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Central, and Before the Noise, 7 a.m. Central. Every day, Monday through Friday. All right. Y'all take care of yourselves and don't step on a needle. I love you. God bless you. Talk to you next time. Bye.